Welcome back to another episode of Podcast Demastered, a place where we celebrate our love for all things nerdy. I'm Chelsea.
And I'm Wade.
On today's episode, we will be demastering Pride, the 2014 film.
Happy Pride, everybody.
Yes, exactly. Happy Pride. So, this is a movie that you recently watched for the first time, and I did rewatch this movie, and I saw this roughly when it came out, and I feel like this movie has just kind of gone under the radar. Like, when you think of, like, Pride-related movies, LGBT movies, I don't know if this one has, at least in the US, I feel like maybe it wasn't talked about enough.
No, for sure, because before, like, you talked to me about watching this movie, I don't think I had ever even heard of it. You know, even if when it was in the theaters and everything else, I think this one really, like, went right past me. So, yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, I know, and I'm glad that it was a little more available because it was a little bit hard to find, but then it was on a lot of different streaming platforms and stuff. I ended up watching it on Canopy, but I think it's on Paramount Plus and like Tubi.
I watched on Tubi.
Tubi, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the name for this movie doesn't do it justice, in my opinion. I think just simply calling it Pride
for sure. I think that's an apt thing to say because with a name like Pride, you can make 100 million assumptions about what this movie is going to be about, and you're like, I'm probably right, but no, you're probably not.
Yeah, no, it's really interesting because this is a movie that is based on a real part of history, specifically within the UK. And it takes place in, I think it's 1984, where a group of gay activists show their support and help the union of mine workers who are on strike during that time period. And you see this really interesting coming together of different groups, and you get to know so many different characters.
There are so many wonderful characters.
Yeah.
And it just, like how big it is, it's like historically, it wasn't just like a group of people and a group of people. The miners' strike was huge. The Welsh miners' strike of 1984, it was really, really big. And it like shook the country. It was effective. So it wasn't like some small little thing. But they were joined, though, by gay activists because they felt that they were being treated the same for similar reasons. Like stronger in numbers and all that.
Yeah, because like the movie starts out where we meet our gay activist, specifically Mark Ashton, and he's like, wait a minute, I just heard this thing on the radio, we should support these people. And a lot of the people like in their group are kind of like, why should we support random people? Nobody's there for us. Like, we have been battling with, the police. Everybody has just put us down. And they're like, no, it's the right thing to do. It's the right thing to help others. And, we're actually like, we can take a breather weirdly because the police are not bothering us. They're attacking all these union workers.
That's the thing. Yeah. That's like one of the things. Like, well, the police are like finally not literally beating us in the streets. Like, maybe we should just accept, some kind of nice boon from the universe. And Mark is like, no, but that's the point. Like, that's the whole point. They're out attacking other people. Like, we're used to it. These people are not. And, like, they're also fighting for their right to, like, exist and be treated fairly and stuff. So.
Yeah. And this whole strike, it does actually eventually they span the entirety of the UK. Because the big thing is that everybody speaks poorly of Margaret Thatcher, who was in charge during this time and who does not like unions and wants to bust them. But everybody's like, well, I think we can come to common ground. We don't like Margaret Thatcher either. So another common bond. But this movie is a little bit of a comedy as well as being a historical drama. And so quirky things happen, but it's all very much based in reality. And by being an LGBT group, raising money in the 80s for other people, they have trouble getting people to take their money because they're like, excuse me, what did you say your group was? Let's just hang up on them or something.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's not like they're looking for allies, but during the 80s, nobody wanted support from the gays. Nobody. Yeah. Which, and also this is like the start of like the AIDS crisis. In both America and the UK, which of course fueled the hate towards the LGBTQ people. But, it just, I don't know, there's lots of parts of this movie that really hit hard that kind of remind you that this was a historical thing. This is something that actually happened.
Yeah, because there's even points where some of our characters are at home with their families, and like one of our characters is not out to their family, and their family's like watching TV, and it has a major scare tactic commercial about AIDS.
Lots of
and
like
people
propaganda and stuff.
Yeah, family are just like, ew. And
Like,
we
turn
just have
that
a character
off.
yeah, like,
Mm-hmm.
we don't need that. And it's like, okay, well, it's more complicated than that, and just having that homophobia there. But we also get some amazing characters, and I just will always think of this actress as being Umbridge. And so anytime she comes on screen, it's just like, oh no, what is she going to say? But she is...
Man, yeah, there is always like a period of time when she's on screen where you have to be like, nope, like,
Yes.
you have to pull back. You have to pull back.
I know. And so she is from this small Welsh town. So our group, which their name of their group is Lesbians and Gays Support the Minors, but they ended up just kind of going by LGSM. And so at first they're like, oh, we finally got like a response. Somebody's going to take our money. So the representative from the town comes and is like, thank you so much for this. And they're like, you didn't realize that we were gay, right? And he's like, no, but I appreciate it.
Here you are.
And I want you to come to our town. And everybody in the town is like, what did you say this group was?
They pull up in like their van that has it like on the side.
Yes.
Which I love that little van. Oh my god. But no, and immediately everybody is like flocking away. They're like, oh, absolutely not. And then they like walk into the place for the first time, and everybody is like on the edge of like violence. Like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Whew.
Which, it's so real, just like that intensity of just like entering a space that you don't know is a safe space or not, and having to deal with. And like, we see a lot of characters who get through their homophobia and like learn to see people as people, but then unfortunately we do have characters who throughout the whole time just cannot accept them. And it's good to see that variety, because it is very much very real life, but then we do get some very sweet, endearing moments with the characters who also grow and learn to accept the friendship, the support from a group who literally just wants to help out because they know what it's like. And you get a really sweet, just like this community bonding.
Once they have their little, like, they're in like the town hall kind of community area, and then the character Jonathan Blake starts to like, they're like, oh, like, they're like dancing. And, and then the women are like, oh, Welsh men don't dance, don't you know that? Yeah. Like, hello. And then Jonathan Blake is like, let's put on some disco and I'll show them how to dance. It's very like Dirty Dancing. Like, I'm introducing dance to this like very Christian population. But then like after that, like the community finally starts to kind of like integrate themselves with a group of people. And I just love that by the end you get to know all of the like the villagers, you get to know like all of the like the LGSM, but you see how like the villagers like attach themselves to like specific members of the LGSM group.
Yes.
They have like favorites.
Yes,
they like claim because like while they're there they have to like sleep in people's houses and stuff, which was like
it's a big
conversation.
Deal. Yeah.
Because like we can't have that in our house. You can't, you know. But then, they get over it and they start accepting them and letting them live there and stuff like that. And I just love how they start like claiming certain people as like members of their family.
Yes.
I love that so much.
Like the really, really old lady who's like,
oh my
where
God,
are my lesbians?
Where are my lesbians? Where are my lesbians?
Well, and when she's first introduced, she's like, I have a question I need to ask you. And everybody is like, don't say anything. Do not say anything. Do not embarrass us. But her question is just so funny because she's like, are you guys all vegetarians? And then
like,
the couple of girls are like, actually, vegans. And that just blows her mind.
But like by the end though, like she's also a vegan. Like she's also like supportive of that, you know?
Yeah. Well, she's even very supportive throughout because she's like, well, I need to make sure. Okay, so I understand. Please explain more of this so I can have what you can eat. But it's
yeah,
really
like I can
cute,
take care of you properly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There are so many of those sweet moments you see. But then, yes, you do get, like, the other hand talking about, some very emotional, intense moments, whether it's characters being outed or sharing that they do have AIDS or just dealing with, at times, some of the violence that they come across, whether it's our miners who are on strike or just the members of LGSM who have to deal with stuff while they're raising money in London. Because that's what they're doing. They go back and forth between this small town in Wales and back to their like home base in London.
They collect money and then like other donations and stuff, and they hop in a van and just drive it over. And they're like, "Here's money. Like you all can like afford to buy food for for your whole families. You know, while there's no jobs." Which, you know, that was something I learned about the strike. I knew the strikes happened, but I didn't realize that while the strikers were like striking, like while people were like quitting the jobs and stuff, that the government was shutting down the mines, like being like sealing them off, like being done with it.
Well, and just also shutting down people's access to anything, because like the government was just like, no, we want to destroy these unions and we're going to do it any way possible.
Like,
and you're just
utilities and everything else, like,
affecting everybody in the whole family. Like this is it's more.
But I guess that was very Margaret Thatcher, though, you know?
Yes.
She was definitely that, like, I don't know, that super aggressive, like, authoritarian mom. Like, you will bend to my will, and I will not take crap, you know? I don't know. I didn't realize that that's how far it was going.
Yeah, because I think, like we said, like this movie was also really eye-opening in a sense because it's learning about a very particular part in history that, especially for us that living in the U.S., are not necessarily very aware of, or in general, this part of history. Because I feel like, at least in school, I feel like we kind of, well, also I've been out of school for a long time at this point. We're old.
A little bit, yeah.
I feel like there was so much focus on like World War II, and then everything like leading up to like present day was just kind of very quickly gone over. And so there's so much stuff that happens, but we didn't really talk about things with the AIDS crisis or other things, clearly, like unions striking in the UK.
Yeah. But, you know, even though, like, the movie really doesn't have a terribly happy ending because the strike does not win out. They don't win that fight. So everybody goes back to work and it's kind of is what it is. But the history where, like, the gays and the lesbians, they came to support the miners, and they made this relationship, this bond, so heavy that in the next year, like the next year's Pride Parade in London, the miners actually came in droves, absolute droves, to support gays and lesbians in that Pride Parade. And that relationship, like, still exists today.
Yes.
And actually, that's also what helped win, like, gay and lesbian rights, LGBTQ rights, within, like, Parliament and stuff like that, too.
Yes.
Which just, wow.
Yes. No, those facts at the end, they just like really hit you in the feels, especially of just like the history with that. But then also because this is a film based on real life, a large majority of these people are real people. So we get to find out what happens to them. And so unfortunately, some of the stories are tragic, but some of them are just very impressively wild, because one of the characters who was like one of our main characters, though, Mark Ashton, he does unfortunately pass away in his 20s. I think he's like 26,
like a year or two after this. Well, like it's 2 years after the start of the movie, because like about the end, he kind of realizes that he might have AIDS, because like he meets like a previous like lover who is like dying. He is currently like getting ready to die, and he kind of has this existential like, oh my god. And he leaves, and he I guess he does find out he does have AIDS. And he dies. He died like 12 days after his diagnosis.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate.
Devastating. He was only 26.
Yeah. But then on the other hand, we have somebody like Jonathan Blake, who is one of the very first people in the UK to be diagnosed. But he is still alive to this day. Like, he was alive when this movie came out in 2014, but we also looked it up, and he is
still
amazingly still alive today. And that's really incredible.
Yeah, absolutely wild.
And then, like, there are some other characters, because one of the characters, they, like, recently moved to that town in Wales, and she's very outspoken compared to her husband. And you're just kind of like, oh, she's a quirky character who just wants to be, like, part of the, like, little, like, committee they have in the town, and is very supportive. Yes.
Sean! Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing woman. Oh my gosh.
And yeah, she ends up being like the first woman in her area to serve
on Parliament.
Yeah.
As like a representative. Yeah.
Yeah. And so that was really cool to hear about, because it's one of those funny things too, because a lot of times when you watch movies where they're based on like history, you're like, how many of these characters are actually real people or something? Or you're always like, well, what happened after them after? So it's always neat to see at the end of the movie where they're like, where are they now or what they accomplished. And so.
You know, it's weird because, like, as far as I can tell, the only fictional person within this movie was like the main character, like one of the main characters, who was Joe, or they called him
Bromley.
Oh my gosh,
right?
They call him Bromley.
Yes.
Like after the college he went to.
Yeah.
And he was like a little baby gay, like in the closet. But he's like, I want to like help and support. And he's like the character who kind of has to go through like the coming out process, and his parents find out like in an unfortunate way. And they're like teaching him what it is to like, yeah, it's good that you're out and you're supporting, but like, are you willing to go to the front lines? Are you willing to be in the newspaper? Are you willing to put your name and your face attached to all of this stuff, you know? Like, no matter how much you're supporting in the background, like, that's kind of what Mark is trying to teach him throughout the whole movie. Like, it's about standing up and not just sitting down and supporting. But yeah, he was like the only fictional person in the movie.
Yeah, and it's really interesting too, because the actor who plays him is George McKay, and his probably more famous, more recent role is the main character in 1917. He's been in a bit here and there, but it's just kind of interesting to see that. But yes, I did think it was funny, but I guess that was a way to better weave the story by making him a fictional character so that we can see those different aspects, like you said.
Yeah, it's one of those things like, if you have like an outsider who doesn't know what it's like to like be in these positions and stuff, well, now you have a character who's learning, and you get to learn like by proxy. So
yes, exactly.
Yeah. Also, like the Bill Nye character, Cliff, I was not expecting him to be gay. Like when they were like sitting there making the sandwiches. Yeah. Like him and Imelda Stanton is there like making the sandwiches. I'm just like dying inside. She's like, oh, I've known since like 1968 or whatever. And he's like trying like not to cry while they like keep making the sandwiches. And it's just like so cute. They're just like sitting there at the table. Yeah. Like, my guy, you're so old.
Yes. It was sweet though. Because, yeah, his character, that's what we see. Like, he is, like, the really old one, the one who's been around forever in that town. And then it's like, well, actually, I am gay, too. But he also learns, at an older age, how to speak up and speak out and deal with some of those in his community that are not accepting. Because the people that don't accept the LGSM group the most is, like, his...
Sister-in-law,
yes.
Yeah. His late brother's wife. Yeah, Maureen. What a bitch.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
I hated her.
And that haircut.
And that freaking haircut. Those bangs. Are you kidding me, Maureen? Get out of here.
Yeah. No, I was just like, that's
her
the
sons.
Look.
Oh my god. She's like mind warping her sons and then sends them into the place, and they get immediately kicked out. Like, okay, I saw that coming.
Yeah.
Good on you all.
Yeah. Well, and they're the ones who have some growth at the end, because I'm pretty sure they're at the end for the Pride Parade.
I think so too. Yeah, we kind of noted that. And is one of them like one of the ones who was like, "Hey, like teach me how to dance too"? Was that also one of them? I wasn't quite sure.
I don't think it was. Well, maybe eventually came around, but I think it was just those other two guys who...
Like, there was the two guys, but he's like watching them dance.
Yeah.
Right, and he was like, I want to learn how to dance too.
Yeah.
Something like that. I don't know, but...
Well, that's also a funny little sweet thing too, where the guys are like, we actually are jealous of those moves, and like, we see how the women are reacting to you. Can you teach us so that we can, get ourselves a girl?
Oh my god, yeah, like the main guy, like the bigger guy. Yeah. I was like, oh, you're gonna be like the Samwise of this movie. Oh my gosh, get out of here with that.
I loved it though.
Like, what an ally, queen. What an ally.
Yes. And he is the ally, the ultimate ally.
Well, yeah, because he was like, he was very much just like, this ain't my thing. I'm going to get out of here. And people were like, hey, how about you check your privilege? And then he kind of got used to them and hang out with them. And then, Jonathan Blake taught him how to dance and stuff. Then he was like defending, like actively defending and supporting. So
yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. I think it's what's so cool too about this movie, because it is based in real life. It's really amazing to see that like groups who would not necessarily interact with each other, they were able to come together. And just the movie shows, like, when you learn more about somebody, like, you realize they're not that much different from you. And it's also just overall a great message there as well.
Yeah, I know. And it's so important to watch movies like this. It just really helps keep us grounded. And just, it reminds us that we are out there living our best lives as best as we can, and that we're supporting other people and everything else. So I'm glad we watched this one.
Yes. And listeners, let us know if you have seen this movie, or if not, definitely give it a watch. I think it's worth your time.
And that's it for another episode of Podcast Demastered.
If you enjoyed hanging out with us today, don't forget to follow and subscribe, leave us a review, and tell a friend.
If you have an episode idea, send us an email at demasteredpodcast@gmail.com. You can follow us on YouTube, Instagram, Blue Sky, and Facebook at Pod Demastered.
Thanks for listening, and tune in for the next time we demaster our favorite things on Podcast Demastered.